Hey friends, welcome to our Utsuk YouTube channel. So we are back again with the new video tutorial. And in this video, I'm gonna show you how you can configure the Python and Django application and deploy it into the AWS hosting platform. So while deploying the Python and Django application to the AWS EC2 instance, I'll be creating the instance of Ubuntu 18.04. And in that instance, we'll be configuring the Nginx as a web server, also can be called as a reverse proxy. And after that, we will configure the MySQL database as Django provide default database as SQLite, but I'll be configuring and changing it into the MySQL database. And after that, we will be configuring for the Unicorn and the supervisor. So in this video, we'll cover the some of the content as at first creating the Ubuntu instance and installing the LAMP server. After that, configuring phpMyAdmin and install the Nginx and configure it. After that, we'll be configuring the Django project from GitHub. So we'll clone the project from GitHub and I'll be configuring the Unicorn and supervisor. So while configuring, I'll provide all the details regarding this each individuals and what it does. So let's get started. So here in the local, I have one project running. This is the project that I'm going to deploy in my EC2 instance. So this is the simple template with all this static content. So let's configure this into our Ubuntu instance in AWS hosting platform. So I have my AWS Educate account. You can configure this in your personal AWS account. And if you don't have the AWS account, you can sign up and provide the card details and you can access it for 1 year free trial period. So at first, let's log into the AWS account, AWS Educate. So I have made this AWS account from my college. So let's sign in. It's for the educational purpose. If I move to this AWS account, I've already logged in and AWS Educator Starter account, then AWS console. So move to the EC2. So here we have no any instances. So at first we need to create the instance, launch the instance here. So I'll be creating the Ubuntu 18.04 as this one. Let's select it. After that, you need to select to T2 free trial eligible. Then next configure it. After that, next and leave as it is. So you can even add the tag. I'll be providing the tag name as Django application. Django application and value also same. Django application. Next. So we need to configure some of the security group here as the default security is here SSH. We need to add some rule. Let's add some of the rule as TCP custom and provide the 8000 as a port. So this is for the Django application that we will configure later on. And here you can keep anywhere. Another also add rule, add HTTPS and anywhere and HTTP. So here is the HTTP anywhere. And finally the all traffic here is and anywhere. Now click on review and launch. After that, launch it. So here it will be option for choosing the key. You can create a new key pair and I'll be giving the key name as EC2 key and download this pair. So let's download this in a desktop. It will create the .pem file and if you launch the instance here, it will launch the instance and now view instance. So here I'll be giving the instance name as Django application, then save it. So here you can see no any elastic IP has been assigned. So let's assign the elastic IP first. This is because if we do not assign the elastic IP address, at each restart of this instance, it will associate with the new IP address. So in order to tackle with this problem, I will be creating the elastic IPs. So let's allocate the elastic IP address. Here, click on allocate. So one elastic IP will be provided. And with this elastic IP, we need to associate with that instance that we have created. So let's give the name as Django application also here for the same instance. Now we need to associate with the EC2 instance that we have created. Let's associate elastic IP address. Here choose the instance name. This is the instance that it's running, and IP will be this, as it will give by default. And then you can choose this option as well. After that, click on associate. So now if you move to the instance here, you can see that here elastic IP address is assigned. Now let's connect to this instance with our terminal. That first, copy this command. Now move to the desktop and open your terminal. I'll be choosing the git bash. So let's zoom a little bit. Now shift insert to paste this command and hit enter. After that, you need to copy this command and paste it here and give enter. So this will connect to our EC2 instance, IPS. So now we have connected to our EC2 instance with the IP. So let's clear it out. So there is another way to, so there is also another way to connect to the EC2 instance. Let's exit as first. So in your desktop, let's create one text file and give this name as EC2 key, and the extension will be sh. Then open it with the notepad again. Then copy this command and then paste it here and save it. So if you want to connect to your EC2 instance, you can simply go to the terminal and then give the command as sh ec2 key.sh. So this will establish the connection. So this might be the simple way to connect to your EC2 instance. Later on, clear this out. So for configuring the Django application in this EC2 instance, I have made one documentation here. I'll be providing the link in the description below for this documentation, and you can refer this documentation and copy the command from here. So it will be easy for you. So at first, let's update and upgrade the instance that we have created in our AWS platform. So go to the terminal and paste this command, then hit enter. This will update and upgrade your Ubuntu. Press Y. So update and upgrade has been successfully done. So let's clear out the screen. Now what we need to do is we need to install the Nginx. So in order to display the web page to our site visitors, we are going to employ Nginx, a modern efficient web server. It can also be used as the reverse proxy. So let's copy this command to install the Nginx and go to the terminal again, paste it, enter, press Y. So Nginx has been successfully installed. Now if you go to the instance here and this running instance, and if you copy this IP and go to the URL and paste it there, so you can see the welcome page of our Nginx. So this means that we have configured the Nginx successfully. Now the another step is to install the MySQL server. So this is command to install the MySQL server. Let's copy this, paste it, press Y. So let's clear it out. Now the next step is to create the user for MySQL. So in order to create the user, we need to copy this command and paste it here. It will open the MySQL. Now in order to create the user, create user as admin and give the password as admin. In your case, you can give any of the username here and the password, but I'll be giving the username as admin and the password as also admin. So let's paste it out here. It would say query OK. And now we need to grant all the privileges to this user that we have created just now. So grant all the privileges to the user. Shift insert. It will say query OK. Now exit from this MySQL. Let's clear it out. So after that, we'll be installing the PHP for processing. So in order to install the PHP in our Ubuntu instance, let's copy this. Then paste it out here. Then press Y. So we need to remember what PHP version we have installed here. So we need to configure it to the later on process. So let's check what PHP version we have. PHP -- version. This command will give the PHP version. As we have installed the PHP 7.2, let's clear it out. Now, the only configuration change we need to tell Nginx to use our PHP processor for dynamic content. We do this on the server block. So open the default Nginx server block configuration file by typing this command inside this directory. We'll configure the Nginx. Go to the terminal, paste it out here and enter. So now in this part, we need to configure some of the lines here. So move to the downward section, and here in this section, you need to add index.php, and then you need to provide the server name. You can even provide your IP address, and you can even provide the server name, but I'll prefer to give the IP name. Here, this is the IP. So if you don't know what IP address you have, you can go to the EC2 instance here, and inside this, you can see that inside this instance, you can see here is the elastic IP. Just copy this and go to the terminal and paste in this section, shift insert. Now here in this location PHP, you need to uncomment some of the lines of code here. Uncomment this and this one and this first one also. After that, uncomment this curly bracket and this location. So we have installed the PHP 7.2, and here in this line it's PHP 7.0. So let's configure it to 7.2. Remember this line because if you configure with the different version of PHP that you have installed, then it might give the error as 502 bad request. So configure this file in a precise way. So let's check it once. Here it's index.php and I have given the server name here. After that, the location, and then this location p.php. Here in the down section, this is uncomment and it's PHP 7.2 version. Okay, now in order to write out this file, press Ctrl O, press enter and Ctrl X. Now let's check whether the configuration has any error or not. For that, you can give the command as sudo nginx-t. So it must say that test is successful and syntax is okay. So in this process, if you have got any error, you need to reconfigure the nginx configure file, this sites available /default. You need to go to the same location here by giving this command and reconfigure it and check your configuration file in a precise way so that no any error is occurred. And whenever you get this command, it must say test is successful and the syntax is okay. So let's clear out this screen. Now we have configured this part as I have listed in the documentation as well. You can refer this documentation, and I have discussed in the detail here what things needs to be changed and what needs to be uncomment. So the another step here is to reload the Nginx. So let's reload this. Go to the terminal, shift insert, reload Nginx. Now the another step is to install the phpMyAdmin interface. This is the command to install the phpMyAdmin. So shift insert, press Y. As here you can see configuring the phpMyAdmin, it will ask for the web server. So we have already installed the web server as Nginx. So we don't need any of the options to be chosen here. So you can simply press tab and press OK. So now you will be asked for configuring the phpMyAdmin. Configure the database for phpMyAdmin with the conf-common. Press yes. Then you will be asked for the password. So you can provide same password that we have used while creating the users at step number 6 in this documentation here, as we have created the user as admin and the password also admin. So you can provide same password here. Press admin and okay, admin admin, okay. So phpMyAdmin has been successfully configured. So after configuring the phpMyAdmin, let's move to the another step. Here I have discussed in the documentation how to configure phpMyAdmin. So finally we need to create the symbolic link, or we can even say it as a symlink. So let's copy this and go to the terminal, shift insert and enter. So if you move to the directory as /var /www and HTML section, then if you hit the command ls, you can see that the symbolic link is created for phpMyAdmin. Now let's restart the Nginx once again. Go to the terminal and paste it here. Sorry, command click Nginx. So it will reload the Nginx server. Let's clear it out. And if you go to your browser and hit this URL, it will bring you into the phpMyAdmin interface. So let's log in with the username admin and password as admin. And you will be logged in into the phpMyAdmin interface. So from here you can create database, edit, update, anything you can do it in your phpMyAdmin interface. So we have used the Nginx as the web server here, and server type here is MySQL. So this is the first configuration part. Now the next part is to configure the Python and Django application here. So in order to configure the Python and Django application, let's clone the project from the GitHub. I'll be providing the project link as well in the description below, and you can clone it, or you can even use your own Django and Python application to deploy in EC2 instance. The choice is yours. So I'll be moving into the GitHub account here. Let's move to the GitHub. So here is the project that I have set, and let's copy this project URL. In this directory, as in this var www.html, I'll be cloning this project and then shift insert. So it would say Django permission denied. So let's do sudo. So at first, let's install the git. Sudo apt get install git newly installed. So let's clear it out, and sudo git clone and this URL. So in this section, we have cloned our project successfully. Let's see. So here is the Django. This is our project. and let's clear it out. So now after clone is successful, we need to create the virtual env. In order to create the virtual env, we have some command here. So let's copy this and then paste it here. At first we need to install venv in our Ubuntu instance. After that, in order to create the virtual environment in this same directory, I will be copying this command. And remember that you need to add prefix as sudo before all of this command that you will be configured in later on as well. So let's paste it out here. And in front of this, you can add sudo. Otherwise, it would say permission denied. And this env name gonna be the env underscore demo. So I'll be creating the virtual env with this name, env underscore demo. So now if you hit the command ls, you can see our virtual environment has been installed. Now let's activate this virtual environment. Source, now your virtual env name, bin, and activate. So you can see that our virtual env has been activated. So let's clear it out. So all the packages that we're gonna configure in this project will be installed inside this env underscore demo virtual env. So let's move to the documentation again. So now we need to configure the MySQL client as well, because in this project we have used the MySQL as a database. At first, let's see, we have the requirements.txt or not inside the Django. Yeah, we have the requirements.txt. So at first, let's install the pip3 as using the command. Let's clear it out. Let's see Python version first. So we have the Python version as 3.6.9. Now we need to install the pip3. So for that, sudo apt get install python 3 -pip. Let's extend this little bit. Now if you hit enter, it will install the pip3. Let's clear it out. Now here, if you do ls, you have the requirements.txt. So we need to install inside this virtual env. Remember to activate at first. It's already been activated here. So now let's install it. Sudo pip3 install -r requirements.txt. Press enter. So this will install all the requirements that we're gonna use in our project into the virtual env. But I have not mentioned about the MySQL client. So we need to install the MySQL client manually. So for that, before installing the MySQL client, let's test this as pip3 install MySQL client. If you hit this command, it will give some of the error by saying that command python setup.py failed. So for that, what you need to do is you need to configure some of the files at first. So let's install some of the libraries that I have mentioned here. Copy this command simply. Copy this and paste it out here. It will install some of the packages here in a Ubuntu. So packages has been installed. And again, you need to copy this command here as this command. Copy this and paste it out here. Press enter. Press Y. So let's clear it out. So now if you hit the command for installing the MySQL client, now it will install successfully. You can see MySQL installed successfully. Sorry, MySQL client. So we have installed the MySQL client as well. Now the another thing is to create the database. For that, let's move to this section. That's ls. And inside the demo project here, you can see that we have the settings.py, but I have configured the all the settings.py information into the .env file using the Django environment. I'll be showing you in the local here. So this is the .env file that I have configured, and I have used the Django environment to configure this. So you need to install Django environment at first, and in your settings.py you can simply import the environment and use this env as a variable, and using this env you can refer to the variable that has been created in the .env. So in this way you can keep your personal information about database username, password, and the email username password in a separate file and in a secured way. So simply let's make one .env file inside this directory demo project in our Ubuntu instance. So in order to create the .env file, sudo touch.env. So if you do ls, it won't be showing .env file here, but if you do ll, it will be showing that .env file is created here. So let's clear it out. Now the thing we need to do is just edit that .env file, sudo nano.env. Inside this file, we need to copy this all the command and the variables. So if you don't know how to configure this all, I've even provided with the .env example file. You can copy that file, and it is also included in the GitHub repository as well. So I'll be copying this. Let's copy this and paste it out here. So here some password and username needs to be changed, as I have created the user as admin, and this password is also admin. So this is the password and the user that I have created while configuring the MySQL database. So leave all the settings as it is, and now let's write this with the Control O, enter. So remember that we have the database name as demo. We need to create it using the phpMyAdmin interface. So after saving that, Control X to exit. Now let's move to the browser and go to the phpMyAdmin here. You need to create the new database as demo. Let's create it. So now moving back to the one directory back, here you can see the manage.py here. You can simply give the command as python3 manage.py and setup. So in front of this, you need to give sudo as a super user do. So this setup is the configuration that I have done inside this demo project and this home app inside the management, and inside these commands I have the setup.py. So what it does is it simply configure the all the command, and the necessary command like make migration and migrate will be called through this command. So you can refer to this part, and now if you hit this command, it will apply the changes and all the tables are created into the database. You can see here in my phpMyAdmin also. So all the tables has been created. So now the next thing is to configure the unicorn. So what is unicorn? At first let's understand. Green Unicorn is the Python WSGI, that is Web Server Gateway Interface, HTTP server for Unix. Unicorn knows how to run a web application based on the hook between the WSGI server and the WSGI compliant web app. So this will configure the WSGI application that we have in our Django project. So at first, let's install the Unicorn. Let's copy this command. Remember to add the sudo as a prefix in this command. Sudo and shift insert. So it's not pip, but it's pip3. So it will install the Unicorn. So we have configured the Unicorn. So if you want to learn more about the Unicorn, you can refer to this link. Now we need to bind with the Unicorn. So we need to bind this 8000 port and also the project WSGI with the application. So let's copy this command and paste it here. It will say that Unicorn bind 0.0.0.0 with 8000 port, and it's our project name, demo project. Give your project name as you have configured, and it's the WSGI and is to application. So this is the binding command. So let's enter this. You can see that booting worker with PID this. So now if you move to your browser and if you give the IP, as my IP address is 107.21.203.217 and is to 8000 here, you can see that our project has been loaded, but we have not configured the static file yet, so it's appearing in the weird way. We'll configure that later on. So what if you terminate this server? So now if you go to the URL and again reload this, so it will not respond as the site cannot be reached. In order to tackle with this problem, what we need is we need to configure the supervisor. So supervisor will help us to run the process in the background. So let's configure the supervisor. Supervisor is a process manager to ensure the Unicorn starts, restarts and runs when we need it. Supervisor will look after the Unicorn process and make sure that they were restarted if anything goes wrong, or ensure the process are started at boot time. So whenever you want to load your server in a boot time or any of the error occurs, then you want to restart it. This all the process will be handled by the supervisor itself. So supervisor is considered as the process manager here. So we need to install this. Let's copy and go to the terminal. Now let's clear it screen. Shift insert. So we'll install the supervisor at first. So it's the sudo package, not the pip package. Remember that. So after configuring the supervisor, let's clear it out. Now the thing that we need to configure is some of the configuration file for the supervisor. So create a configuration so that the supervisor could read from the configuration. So move to this directory in the conf.d, go to the terminal, paste it, and inside this, if you hit ls, there are no any files. So we need to create one unicorn.conf file. Let's copy this and paste it out here. So if you do ls here, now unicorn.conf is here. After that, you need to configure this file that we have created just now with the nano editor, or you can choose any of the editor you like. So it's empty now. So let's copy this command configuration. So here I have provided the syntax of this configuration, and this is the example. So it's configuration for unicorn.conf file. Let's copy this and paste it out here. So here what it actually does is it's the program unicorn, and we need to provide the directory as where is your project. You need to provide that directory here. Our project, so my project is inside the Django here and inside the var www.html. So this is the project directory here, and we need to specify where our unicorn is. So this is the configuration where we have installed our unicorn, and we need to provide the workers for the unicorn, as I provided workers as 3, and we need to bind with the Unix like this. Up to here it's the project directory, and we need to add app.sock. It will bind with the socket, and after that we need to provide the WSGI for this application. So here it's for WSGI, you can look. So this is the WSGI, and WSGI is to application. So if you do not understand here, you can simply refer the documentation. This is the line, and after that we need to give auto start equals to true and auto restart equals to true here. And after that, these are the directory where the log file will be maintained, and if the error occurs, The log file will contain the causes of the error, and this is the group is to uni and then unicorn. So let's write out this with the control O, press enter, control X. So now let's create one directory in this directory path mkdir slash var slash log slash unicorn. Shift insert, permission denied. So sudo and this command. So it will create one directory for unicorn, and then we need to reread the supervisor. So let's copy this and paste it out here. Reread. It will say GUNI available, and then you need to update it. Control C, shift insert, added process group. Then you need to configure this, check the status whether it's running or not. So it's saying that cannot find the command this. So it might be the problem of unicorn, because let's say where is the unicorn that we have installed? Where is unicorn? So hitting this command, you'll be provided with the directory where unicorn has been installed. So this is the directory, but let's check what inside this configuration. Let's copy this. So in order to check what inside our configuration, let's move to the configuration file again with this command sudo nano unicorn.conf, and inside this you can see it's var html demo env, but our directory inside the usr slash local slash bin. So let's remove out this at first. So let's remove out from here. So it's inside slash usr slash local slash bin here and unicorn. So let's overwrite it. The control O, insert, and then control X to exit. Now again let's see the status. So before seeing the status, let's copy this reread command and paste it out here. It would say changed. And let's copy this update command and paste it out here. It would say update process group. So let's clear it this screen. Now if you check the status using this command here, must say the process is running. Yeah, it's saying that process is running with the PID this. So it means that there is no error inside the unicorn.conf file. Now the another step is go to the sites available directory here in the nginx. This file has been already configured in the previous configuration as well while configuring this process for the nginx here, this one here. So let's configure again for the unicorn to configure with the nginx. So let's copy this and paste it out here. So we'll be moved into this area again, and here what you need to do is you need to simply add some of the lines of code here inside the slash location, and the command is here include the proxy params and the proxy pass http. This one be configured here, the location this curly braces here. Inside this you need to add some of the codes of line, paste here. So let's arrange this as, so these two lines has been added now. So what it does is it includes the proxy parameters and the http unix with the directory of our project. So our directory inside the project is Django, and this app.sock is the socket. And for the static file also, we need to add some of the lines of code. So let's add these lines as well for the static file to be configured. Copy this and you need to paste in our here. Let's enter this and shift insert to paste it out here. Let's arrange this. So here what you need to do is you need to give your static folder path, as I have the static folder path in my project inside the Django. So this is the directory for the static part and the auto index should be on. So let's rewrite the file with the control O, then press enter, then control X to exit. Let's clear it out. If you hit the command with the sudo nginx -t, sudo nginx -t, so it would say test is successful. So if it's saying the problem, you might have some mistakes in your configuration in sites available. So reconfigure it without having any error. Precisely watch the configuration file and save it and test for the nginx. So it would say test is successful. After that, we need to restart our nginx and the supervisor as well. So this is the last configuration step. Insert nginx will be restart. So now we need to restart the supervisor as well. In order to restart supervisor, you need to give this command. So it will restart the supervisor. Then let's move to the URL here. And now if you hit this URL with the IP, then you must see your Django project has been successfully deployed in Ubuntu instance. So it's the same project that I have shown you in the local. Now it's loaded in the this IP which is created in our Ubuntu instance. So using the AWS platform, we have successfully configured the Python and Django application and deploy it in our Ubuntu EC2 instance along with the nginx and the unicorn and the supervisor. So the default database that has been provided by Django has also been changed to the MySQL database. So in this way, we have successfully configured the Django and Python project in our AWS EC2 instance using the nginx as a web server, also known as reverse proxy, and we have used the unicorn as WSGI HTTP server. And then we configure the supervisor to run the process of unicorn in a background even when you cross all the instances here, or even when you can terminate this terminal. It's okay. And if you reload this page again, it will still be running into your process as we have configured for that supervisor. So I hope that this video would be very useful for you to deploy the Python and Django application using the AWS platform. So in order to learn like from this informative video, I will request you to subscribe my channel and comment down in the section below if you have any of the error, and we will meet you in our next video tutorial. Till then, goodbye.